Hello, welcome to Dennis's house. I've been asked to give a tour of the infrastructure, all of the things that are going to be hidden in the walls. And hopefully I'll catch everything, and any mistakes are mine, not those of management. And what we'll do is just go around. This outfit up here is for the mini split, the heating system and cooling system. There's power coming in and a drain for the condensate that goes out there, and hopefully that will never ever leak.
Okay. So hi Dennis, welcome to your house. And what I'd like to do is point out things that will be helpful to you as a homeowner later on. So when you're attaching things to your walls, like your TV or curtain brackets or shelves or anything like that, you want to have a good attachment. You don't want to just go through drywall and rely on those little plastic plugs. But you do want to go into a stud. We discovered a little while ago that these are 24 inches on center, although as they enter doors, windows, or corners, they may not be that. So you can't just count on 24 inches from a corner. So here your first stud is at 14.5 inches.
And all the way through the house you'll see both white wire like this powering the outlets and yellow wire. The yellow wire is a 20 amp feed. This is going to be a light fixture, and if I remember right, we are not putting in a fan, but the box up there is sufficiently strong to support a ceiling fan if you want to put one in later.
You can attach something at any place above the windows because it's all going to be wood. So again, it's important to know where the studs are. It's like 7 inches, and then it's 24 inches on center across the wall.
There are 4 boxes here, 2 for the living room and 2 for the bedroom. The ones with these black wires are going to have cable access. The white wire here is power for the living room. The yellow wire is power for the bedroom. And the reason all of the bedroom outlets are done in yellow, as you can see around the edge here, is that if you wanted to put it, we wanted to have a capacity for an extra space heater in this. This pair of white guys is the in and out line for the mini split. If you see, it can go up and into the roof. And there's a gray quad wire up there. That's the controller for the mini split. This powers the mini split. This cable goes outside.
Okay.
And this is just an electric outlet that's available outside. The mini split people require an extra outlet nearby. The white one is a radon exhaust, and the black one is the vent for the plumbing. The water feed for the faucet that lives outside the door. So this is where the washer dryer is going to be. This plumbing here is for the washing machine, and it'd be good just to know there's a hot and a cold feed. The blue is cold and the red is hot water.
Okay.
The black is the drain, and that goes down and disappears below the concrete. And then the pipe that goes up ties into the black pipe we saw before that provides a vent so it drains properly. This is a vent for the dryer. You can follow the wires through the ceiling back toward where the power panel is. There's a copper wire up there, a thick, naked copper wire. And what that is the ground wire for the house. And that goes down, you can't see it, but it goes down and through the floor at this point. That's the ground wire for the whole house.
Uh-huh.
The red circle there on the floor, you will never see again. It's going to be covered by a toilet with the blue cold water feed to the toilet. And to the left is a sink. And you can see hot and cold and a drain there. Now this wire down in the bottom is again yellow for 20 amp feed for a baseboard heater. There's going to be a switch here. There are 3 switches here. One of these is for a timer switch for the baseboard heater. And I think this double one is going to be for the light and the fan. That's going to be hooked up. You can see the vent there, which is not quite connected yet, but it will be.
So your bathroom fan functions as a light, as a bathroom fan, and as your whole house ventilation. And the setting is to determine what frequency, for how long, the fan will run on a cycle, on a continual cycle, 24 hours a day. So it's generally, my fan at my house runs every single hour for 10 minutes. But I do believe that the fan will be adjusted according to what your air exchanges are, which are determined by your blower door test. When the fan is running in that mode, it'll be a quieter, slower mode, because all it's trying to do is just pull air through. When you come into your bathroom to use it for shower or whatever, and you want to get rid of the excess moisture, which you always should do, because a tight house can accumulate a lot of condensation, you would turn your bathroom fan on, and it's going to be on a high mode, and it'll just pull the air out, and you turn it off when you leave.
Coming around here, this is going to be the inverter for the solar power system. Right, so this is the back of the power of the circuit breaker box. If you go around the other side and open the door, you'll find at this point only 1 or 2 circuit breakers, but eventually there'll be a dozen or so. This metal cable goes up and around in the ceiling. We'll show you that later where it goes, but it ends up outside on the power panel outside, and it brings the power from the solar panels into the box and somehow into the inverter. This big fat cable brings all of the power into the house from the meter that's outside, and these various colored ones distribute. We've seen the other ends of them around. This big fat one here is the washer, is the electric dryer. This little orange one is the water heater. The yellow ones are 20 amp feeds, and they're labeled, but the labeling doesn't matter. The circuit breakers will be labeled inside the box.
On the service side, if you want to be attaching shelves or anything, be real cautious about not attaching to where this service box is. If you do accidentally start putting a screw in the wall and it stops, you hit something hard, stop, because then you're hitting metal. And that's true of these little metal plates that are going to be on different studs throughout the house, which on Rob's video, you'll see them.
All right, this box up in the corner, this is cable and internet. That's probably a clean out. You take that pipe, if something gets clogged, you take that pipe off and throw snakes through there to clean out the clog. This is where all the water for the house is going to come in. These 2 connections are for the water heater, as is this power supply. So the water heater you're going to find right here, but the hot and cold water supply for the bathroom, you can see it now from the back side. That's the back of the tub there with its drain, and hot and cold going into the bathroom. These take water from the water meter to other places in the house. So now we're looking just up in the attic. And I wish I had a good pointer. Well, this will have to do. Okay, so this metal conduit, which goes over and up and over, oh, it even says the photovoltaic power source here. This will possibly be buried in insulation, but it certainly won't be easily accessible. And that goes around, goes down into the power box that we saw from its backside before. So that's how the solar power gets into the house.
Cool.
Also up there is this big fat gray one that goes over and around and down into the power box, and then over through the attic and down the wall and out the bottom. So this is the solar over here. These 2 wires are the phone and the cable. And this is the main power supply, all of which come out on the other side of on the outside of the house, there's a panel with the electric meters on it and some of the solar equipment. And there's also a place where the conduit from the cable company comes up. So we're in the kitchen. This is going to be kitchen cabinet. Switches, there are 2 can lights in the ceiling. The naked copper is the ground that we saw, one over by the water heater and the other one way over going into the ground back in the utility room. This box and one over here are going to be outlets for the kitchen counter. For the microwave, with its power supply above. Down below is a fat power supply for the oven. That's what that thick black wire coming out of the breaker box was. So this is the drain for the sink, and power for probably the dishwasher and the garbage disposal, which are supposed to be on separate circuits. And so that drains down there and drains under the concrete over to the outside drain, and this is the vent for that drain, which goes up and into the ceiling and over and connects with the vent that eventually goes out the roof in the back. This outlet is for the refrigerator. The refrigerator sits in this space right here. There's a water supply if the fridge has an active ice maker. And I think we're done here. We ran out of toys to show.